Well, I think it goes to what you said about saturation. You know, you do the save the cat formula in movies enough, and we're all just gonna collectively get and then the thing.
And
you
might
here's
not
what
even,
that happens.
you might not even have the connection in the music. Like you're just making music, but
or animal rescue videos. You know, the thing's injured. The person shows up, cuts the barbed wire. The animal gets out.
Yeah.
It gives it a knowing look to say thank you. And the person goes off about their life, you know, like, we know the formula. We've seen 10 million of these. We don't feel anything for it anymore. And then someone comes along, not that they would make it up, but let's say they made a short film and it was, I don't know, something with an injured animal, but they did something to subvert your expectations because you've been trained with this oversaturated formulaic bullshit to expect all these things. And then it does something to subvert those. And it's not the delight in the fact that your expectations were subverted. It's that they were both subverted and you were made to feel something on top of that.
There's an interesting case to be made, right, with what you just said, that AI could just literally turn it into a mathematical equation.
Absolutely.
Let's subvert this. Let's subvert this.
That's right. If the right pilot of the AI knows to do that stuff.
But then again, with the saturation problem, humans are going to solve that eventually and come up with something even more.
Yep.
So
that hopefully rises above it. And that's, you know, as we all start to democratize the creation of everything, that people can make things that they used to not be able to make. You know,
and we're seeing more of a democratization of IP too.
Sure.
Which is helpful with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just all crazy.
Yeah. And my whole thing is always look at, like, it's super easy to take a dystopian viewpoint, or
Absolutely.
You know, more of a that's
pessimistic,
always,
skeptical, not skeptical, but pessimistic, a more negative outlook on,
like a Huxley or Orwellian kind of
just that we feel like we're on the cusp of something happening, and we're just going to have a completely negative take on the whole thing.
It's just not. It's not used. Again, it's kind of like speculating on anything. It's just not. It's not a good use of my time,
right?
And it's not a good use of energy and.
Well, and we all.
It's sexy. It's fun, but it's like I rather just focus on the stuff that is life, is giving me life, like is getting me excited. And
well, I think these inflection points make us want to go to absolutes and go to extremes. We want, nope, it's all negative. Nope, it's all great. Instead of just going, look, just like everything before it, it's going to be a little bit of both. It's going to be some shit. It's going to be some awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
When photography was invented, everybody thought it was the end.
It's over. Yeah.
It's over. It worked out okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you get caught up in that. And then, I mean, you look back at how some people freaked out about things in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s. And it's like, you know, at a certain point, you're just like, man, you've spent 60 years being in a state of just absolute upheaval.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't want to do that personally. And maybe some people operate on that level. That's the frequency that they need.
Yeah.
But personally, not for me. And there's a lot of things that really get me fired up and enthusiastic about, you know, just being a human.
Yeah.
Like, we're here for such a finite amount of time. And there is no guarantee on how long that time is. And I'm like, I'd rather spend it doing a number of things other than sitting here and, you know,
like, for example,
being concerned.
Your cameras, you know, like we've been talking about, and this probably might feel like an abrupt right turn, but I just love that you texted me about a FireWire adapter and cable because you want to use a camera that records the DV tape and then digitize that stuff for some video work that you want to do. And
the camera that started it all was the first camera I bought.
Yeah.
Like the very first camera that I remember saving up my money when I was a little kid to buy because I wanted to make little things.
There's something interesting about the this sounds like math or something, but like the higher probability or likelihood that the thing that you end up making with these tools has a lot of soul, because you have so much effort and craft and work that goes into making it. You can't just, like we talked about the cloud, like, oh, I just recorded something that's in the cloud, it's on my computer the minute I sit down. Like you have to go find DV tapes, put them in there, record to it, connect the thing to your computer, ingest it all in real time, and then edit from it. And while you're not like developing the film yourself and the chemicals and all that with DV tape in particular, there's something about that slower process, the deliberateness to it, the inconvenience of it, the attention to detail. You got to think thoughtfully about what your data rate is and what the resolution is going to be, and to get that right intersection between data leanness and high quality, all that stuff, and all those little decisions and all those little touch points and all those little inputs are going to be brought to bear when you sit down to edit the thing. There's going to be a different vibe with working with that footage than there would be if you just had a device on you and you told a magic intelligence in the cloud to craft a video that feels like it's from the early 2000s on DV tape, and it's you talking to camera about whatever, or it's a travelogue or whatever it is you're making.
Well, and like we live in a world driven by stories, right? Like what you can watch something and it's pretty good.
Neighborhood is popping today, buddy.
Neighborhood is alive. It is summer in the neighborhood.
Holy cow.
We live in a world driven by stories. So the enthusiasm, I showed you a project that we're working on before we started recording. And the enthusiasm I have for that was so much greater because I know that every step of the way that was done with us, like me and the team, being creative about something, making a creative decision, thinking through, okay, how does this work practically? What A leads to B leads to what is C? What does D look like? So the enthusiasm that I come at you with it when sharing the work is different than if it was just input into language model. Now Maggie's coming to get on the action.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer.